Well, how we doing? Hey, welcome on into the Ryan Ripken Show. Hey, Zach, it's back. We're back. You're back. It's Friday. Hope you guys are having a great day. We are on the move. I apologize. We're at a different time. We're at a different location. This isn't the studio, but we got some great clocks working behind us. But this is the Friday edition of the Ryan Ripken Show. We're live from Alliance Material Handling. And actually, Zach, we were here. You're not with me right now, but we were here last time in the warehouse. But because it's snowing outside, it's a little bit breezy in there. And the equipment was going to be at a possible, couldn't afford an equipment issue. So we audibled and we got some great clocks here. So we got a lot to talk about. But Zach, happy Friday. Hey, Zach, hold on for a second. Zach, come here.
Oh my gosh.
Come here. Hey, buddy.
I just want everyone to know he slipped the hat on right as it hit 3 seconds to go. I disapproved of the hat pre-show. I was like, rock the hair, and here we go. And he slipped it on with that's even put.
We'll put it up like this.
Just unreal.
I have that childish energy to me, you know.
What
Hey, don't hate it. Don't knock it if you can't.
Friday. Happy Friday.
Hey, happy Friday, Zach. And look, we do got a lot to talk about. So actually, we got a couple things since we are here at Alliance Material down in Jessup, Maryland. We're going to talk to the CEO of Alliance Material, Tom Albero, later on. And also, Zach, we've had people say that they want to talk about hockey. Well, we also have former Cap and current analyst for the Capitals on Monumental Sports. That's Allan May. So he's in the building, and I'm excited about that because before I came on air, Zach, I was asking Allan, like everyone's talking about, oh, it's so hard to play sports for so long. But I feel like hockey players in a sport where you're getting your teeth knocked out, just smacked every day, and you are essentially playing like 15, 20 years. Like Alex Ovechkin, it felt like he's played for 3 decades, 4 decades. Like it feels like he's going to play until he's 60, you know? So I got to ask about that. So that'll be fun. We're excited about that. And we will talk baseball, though, because there are some reports. And Zach, you gave me a look earlier. Ryan, what do you know? What's going on? I don't know what's going on. So maybe you'll enlighten me on that. But if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. We appreciate you guys. And yes, we are a little bit. It's a little,
I wanted the clocks to be in the background. I was the one who said lights off. I'm not going to lie. I was the one. The clocks make it for me.
Dude, the clocks are electric here. Like it's
the other one. I will say the other angle's a little brighter.
It's very bright. But you know what I like with this? It like really brings in.
I like the clocks.
The mood. I like the clocks.
I really like the clocks. We might have to get some clocks.
Yeah. There's a lot of fun being had here. It's fun week for them, by the way. So, Zach, there's confetti around the building still. I don't know what's going to happen. You were kind of actually, I was saying you were helping me. No, you were instigating the issue last time. So
I was helping until Rocco recruited me. And I was a very easy recruitment. He said, "Do you want to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah."
That kid. You know, I'm curious when people. It feels festive, right? You know,
I do wonder. I wonder when people will notice it. It's one of the first things I noticed. It caught my eye. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, there it is."
I wonder when people are going to notice.
That's not what we're talking about noticing.
I know that's the point. Throwing them off here, Zach. Get with the program. But why don't we get with this program? First off, let's do our housekeeping. And by the way, this year is almost over. We're 3 weeks away from 2026. Merit Clubs is offering a $1 fee the rest of the year to join. $1. That's it. $1 hair. And we appreciate Merit Clubs. In the new year, I'm going to be doing a High Rocks challenge, which will be documented. And Zach will also be doing that with me, where we're doing sled pushes, lunges, and skiers. Zach doesn't know that yet, but Zach and I will be doing the High Rocks competition at Merit Clubs next year. But $1, Zach, how do you spell $1?
MERRITT.
And when I move, you move.
Just like that.
Just like that. Hey, come here. Zach, let's get into this right now. This is what you wanted to talk about because it just popped up on the sports side. We will get to the Ravens. It's the 25th anniversary this Sunday of the team winning Super Bowl 35. They're celebrating that squad. But baseball and the stove's getting hot. And at least the names that people are wondering about, it's starting to simmer even more, Zach. Take it from here. What do we got going on?
Yeah, so a few hours ago, we got, and I believe that this is Mark Feinstein who reported this or the article, but MLB posted it. The article, Framber Valdez has ties to the Mets and Orioles front offices who are both reportedly seen as favorites to land the left-hander. And then as you see in the article, the little blurb there, Mets and Orioles are among the favorites according to the sources, as both of the decision makers at those clubs have a history with Valdez. Baltimore GM Mike Elias was in Houston's front office during Valdez's first 4 seasons in the organization, while Mets president of baseball operations David Stearns was the Astros assistant GM when Valdez signed. Ryan, I'm just going to get ahead of ourselves here. If/when he signs in Baltimore, when that video of us with where Jim Duquette came on and was like, yeah, we actually almost had a deal to acquire a young Framber Valdez. We'd get a full circle moment. So, yeah, but this is the report at the moment. Ryan, how are we feeling about it?
I'm intrigued. I've always been intrigued. And here's the one thing. I'm really intrigued, not from the sense that the Mets and the Orioles are both in on Framber Valdez. I mean, we've talked about this. The Orioles should be in on every single pitcher, but they should prioritize who they want. And we thought, who could they prioritize? Then there's the Mets that they're like, hey, we're going to go for it. We're spending some dough. Did you see last year we devoted $750 million to one player? They're willing to do this. The Framber where I'm looking at is what is the money that will be given? What is it going to take? And with these two teams, it's interesting. If it's a bidding war between the Mets and the Orioles, I don't think the Orioles win that war. It's not going to happen. But if it's a relatively priced deal and you're looking at a deal that's under $200 million and it's a 5-year deal, I think there's a good chance that Framber could be a Baltimore Oriole. But then you got to look over, are you over what happened during the season last year? Because that one moment crossing up the catcher, and people could say, hey, it's not that big of a deal. It's one play, you move on. Well, to some people, that is a big deal. And when you're talking about setting a culture and a standard, you just got to be careful. And I'm not saying I'm picking a side on that because I just don't know enough about that, Zach. Like, truly, we know if that's true, that's some really messed up crap. Like, on the field, players, you don't mess with that. But the talent is undeniable. Consistency is undeniable. And if you trust that that is a non-factor, Framber Valdez is the number one guy on the market. And I think it's that plain and simple.
And you want to talk about consistency since 2022, 201 innings pitched, 198, 176, and then 192 last year. And in those years, in order from 22 to 25, when he pitched 201 innings, he had a 2.82 ERA, 3.45 ERA in 23, a 2.91 in 24, and a 3.66 in 25. This is a guy who pitches a lot. He's gotten 31 games, 28 games, 31 games. This is a guy who you consistently can put out there and know that he is going to be there for 28 to 31 games a year. And you talk about, especially with something that the Orioles have struggled with. I mean, you talk about Tyler Wells coming off an injury. Kyle Bradish still coming off an injury. Obviously, Grayson Rodriguez is no longer here, but he was coming off an injury. Albert Suarez, another guy that isn't here anymore, but he was injured last year. Last year, it was kind of the injury bug was really what hurt the Orioles. So if you get a guy who is consistently throwing 31 games a year, he's throwing 190 to 200 innings a year, and you know every fifth day from April till October, Framber Valdez will be there pitching on the mound. That is a massive asset. And on top of that, he's going to give you really good baseball. And he's proven that. So this is a guy, like you said, it's going to be intriguing to see what his price is, especially because of the concerns with maybe the cross up and how everything happens there. And trust me, I know people are going to be like, oh, I don't like it because of that. If GMs are writing a check for $200 million, if you think they aren't asking him and getting to the bottom of what happened in Houston at the end and what happened in that situation, I don't know what to tell you. They're going to know more things than we ever will know about that situation. They're not just going to ask Framber. They will call other teams. They will call other players. They will get to the bottom of this story because that's a lot of money to commit to somebody. So hey, let's put it this way. I think the Baltimore Orioles, if you sign Framber Valdez, let's say this happens. Let's just, I'm going hypotheticals right now.
Yeah, play the hypothetical game here.
We'll play the hypothetical. Let's say it happens this weekend. This is just a hypothetical. Let's say it happens this weekend. Mike Elias at the GM meetings gave a checklist. He said, I wanted a veteran outfielder for the middle of the order. I want a back-end bullpen arm to close out games, and I want a frontline starter. He gave a checklist of 3 things. If you are able to check all 3 things off before we even get to the winter meetings, people say what you want about Mike Elias. Say what you want about how the Orioles have operated in the past. The Orioles would be doing exactly what the fan base and honestly what analysts, what fans of baseball have been begging for them to do with this young core for years. Go out there and improve it. So if you're able to get Framber Valdez, or even if you don't get Valdez, but you get another guy like, there's other guys out there on the free agent market. If you're able to get one of them, I'll even say, the Ranger Suarez is even like the Zach Gallons. I know Zach Gallen and them aren't as highly touted at this time anymore, but getting a frontline guy, you're feeling really good. I don't think this would be it, though. I still don't think it would be it, and I don't think it would be maybe any rotation pieces going forward, but I think they're still going to look at the bullpen. I still think they maybe want another arm there, but it would be hard if they pull this off to look at the Orioles and say, so far, this offseason has been anything but a resounding success.
You're living with what the past has happened, so people can be very skeptical. And hey, Zach, come here. So people can be very skeptical about this whole situation. You love it. Don't even act like you don't love it. You love it. The reality is, until a move and action's done, fans are still going to have skepticism to whoever the Orioles are going to sign next, especially if it's a big name. But the reason I want to just emphasize this, because I want to make this point, and then we have Allan May is going to join us here. Zach played for the Caps, current analyst, so we'll take a little bit of a break to talk to him. And then I want to get into a couple of the other options, because the point that I'm going to make here is the reason why the Mets and the Orioles are being talked about with this. Why? Well, because the teams need it. A lot of teams need them, but they're going, the connection to Houston, Stearns and Elias. That's where people are trying to put it down as, they know him personally. They know about him. There's a connection. Therefore, that makes sense. But is that enough to merit it? Maybe. Or maybe that's just enough for people to think that those are the 2 teams. And I have a hard time believing it's just those 2 teams, Zach. I think it's just the easy thing to say. Yeah, Framber Valdez, Mets and Orioles, they're the headliners for the guy. They very well might be, but I want to halt people on that because of the dire need throughout Major League Baseball. And that's why, when it comes through with all these reports, and it'll be fun to talk about this in the winter meetings, because we're trying to line up some great guests as well. But I'd love to understand when we hear these reports being thrown out, and GMs have said to us in the past, and executives or people out of the game, there are stories that are put out there that don't have a lot of full merit, but they're put out to drive up a price, to drive up some urgency in moves. And so I just look at that, because how many times have we heard, Zach, also, breaking news, this player signs with a team that we didn't even talk about. And why?
Mm-hmm.
Because all along they were never out, but they weren't the connected pieces so far, if that makes sense. So I'm curious to see, but we will talk about the next guy upcoming here. That'll be Ranger Suarez, because I want to talk about Zach. It's back.
I'm so I love it.
We are back. It's fun week.
We still have confetti in our one bag.
We still have confetti in the bag.
I know it scared you too, and I'm sure you saw it coming. It still got you. Do they
I'm
have silly
staring at
string?
Irene right now.
Is there silly string?
She's just waving at me. No, I don't know if they're silly string yet. Would they do that in here? I don't think they have. I don't think they have the bravery to do that in here.
You look like, oh my god! I think backwards might.
Backwards
look like
hat?
Picasso. I like it, Picasso.
This is I you know what some do call me? They call me Ryan Picasso. Did you know that?
I don't know if this is a guess of what we've been talking about, or if this
I don't know.
He might just be calling you a silly elf. I don't know if he's noticed. I don't know if people have noticed.
I don't think people really notice. Here, I'm gonna.
Woo!
Did you hear how loud that was?
Yeah, I mean it was a little muffled because like I'm through a computer screen, but
I can't wait to. I think we have the local recording on for it, so I can't wait to go back and watch that. That'll be great. What was my? This happens every time. I know a lot of people want to know more about the Orioles. My brain's a little scrambled right now, and my hearing's a little bit off. But Ranger Suarez is the name that we need to talk about in a little bit. But we're going to pause on that for a moment because we're going to have Allan May joining us. Played for the Caps, played in the NHL. But while we're talking about that, he still works in the NHL covering the Capitals for Monumental Sports. So he'll be joining us. And I think hockey players are the toughest son of a guns out there, you know? So I'm really excited about. I trust you, Mike. I trust Allan. I don't trust Irene. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I mean, I don't. You just missed me getting confettied.
I see.
Might be the second one. Allan, did you get confettied?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Well, you might.
it's a dangerous seat.
No, you're
next
right.
to-
You're right here. Yeah, come on in. Well, I would say, sorry about the place being a mess, but you can't blame me for that one right here.
As long as you don't get silly string.
Oh, have you heard about that?
Yeah,
You heard
I
about
did.
the silly
Yeah,
string?
I did. I don't want it to happen.
You don't want it
I'm
to
losing my
happen.
mic. What's going on?
Oh, you're let me fix it for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fix his mic, Ryan.
I'm working on it, Zach. Here, let's see. I think we can. Let me try to lower
Yeah,
it. Better to lower.
All right.
Better?
Yep.
Can you, Zach, can we hear? Can you hear?
Yeah, just fix the mic stand. Yes, I can
The
hear.
mic
Fix.
stand?
Got it.
We'll make
Is
sure
this
it's
one?
like it's evened out,
What's evened out?
like
that?
so that balanced. Yeah. Now we're good.
Balanced?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? It's easier when we have a team full of people here. I'll be
Yeah.
honest. So Zach here, by the way, he's down here.
Yeah.
He's
Oh, now-
usually, yeah, he's my, I would say he's a bodyguard, but he like instigates or enables Irene to do this to me. So I came here and did this last year, Allan.
Okay.
And we did it in the warehouse. And it was a fun week and it was a blast. And yeah, I got silly string the heck out of here. So I think you're in trouble. I really think you're in trouble. But for those that don't know, Allan May, long career playing in the NHL, and actually your journey in general. I want to ask you a little bit about that. But then currently still covering. You're working tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
Late night.
Late night?
I've never really had a job, so I don't call it working, but I get to cover the Caps tonight. So I look at everything. I've been lucky. I've been fortunate.
You've been fortunate. So covering the Caps for Monumental
Yep.
Sports Network, analyst role, contributing in game as well.
Yep.
I got to ask though, because I looked up your career to get into the NHL. You had to take some steps to get there. In baseball, when you try to get to the big leagues, there's the minor leagues,
Yep.
right? And there's these stories. They stick with you. I'm curious, do you have any story when you were trying to climb the ladder that sticks out to you before you got to the NHL?
Well, I got to preface everything with this. So collected hockey cards and baseball cards as a kid. And I was obsessed with baseball cards because of all these places in the minor leagues that guys played. And I thought the more places that guys played, and then I'd be in a town like Greensboro, and Wade Boggs played there, and, in Winston-Salem, I looked at all these things. So when I was younger, my dad is 5'2", till the day he died. He was 5'2", and I was brought up to be 5'2". And when I got my driver's license at 16, unfortunately, I was 5'2". My draft year in the NHL, for which should have been my draft year, I was 5'7.5", maybe 5'8", because I was cheating. And how always trying to stand, put some stuff under my heels. And I was getting measured. I weighed 138 pounds, and I don't know how I got to be almost 6'2". And when I played my first NHL game, way later than I had anticipated on my master plan as a kid, I was 168 pounds. So I just look at my last game in junior, my coach offered me a coaching job and said, he was a legendary Canadian coach, and he said, "You're too small to be a tough guy. You're only gonna make about $380 a week. Guys are 6'8", drugs and booze and all of this." And he goes, "You'll never make the big leagues." He goes, "You're a good kid. You can skate, but you got no size, and I just don't see it. Come and coach with me. You'll probably coach in the NHL before you ever played in it." And I love the guy. He's 93 years old now. I see him every time I'm in Vancouver, and he always takes me around. He goes, "This is the kid who would never listen to me." So within a year of that, I told him, I said, "Oh, the game has passed you by. I will play in the NHL." And I played in the lowest level of minor league. Obviously, it's the league that Slapshot was based on. And a year after playing in that league, within a year of playing, when my coach told me that, I played in the NHL, my first games. So I look at playing in all those stops, was just part of the way. And I only had one goal, and I kept it quiet. But I was absolutely obsessed with playing the NHL. I worked out probably way too much when I was younger. But, if you bench press every day and you do 100 sets, you're not going to get any bigger. So you actually get smaller. But I was just obsessed with playing. And the first league I played in, I didn't know. I was sent to Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I didn't know if there was a North Carolina, an actual East Carolina, South Carolina, or West Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea with my American geography at the time. And when I went down there, it was just absolutely bizarre. And it was insane how much fun I had.
So of the towns, so you just mentioned Winston-Salem. Any other towns that you remembered before you got to the NHL?
Everywhere. So I signed with the Boston Bruins out of there, and I played in Portland, Maine, which I absolutely love.
Portland's awesome.
Oh yeah, to be a young guy and you got a nice paycheck, and full of energy. It was a great place. It was such a fun town, and none of us really cooked back then, but we ate the $5 lobsters every day. You'd boil a couple of lobsters, then you go out to eat, and we went out every single night. There were hundreds of bars and restaurants in downtown Portland. It was a blast. Everywhere
my wife's from Portland,
Yeah.
so we go up there quite a bit. The $5 lobster thing ain't a thing anymore.
No, and I lived in I lived in a house worth $1.2 million back then. Yeah. Me and my two roommates, and I, we paid $200 each a month. Basically, we were house sitting in this massive, awesome house on the ocean, and I loved every minute of being there. And I had just an absolute blast. I led the league in penalty minutes. Had an insane coach. I had so much fun every single day.
So if people were wondering about the player Allan May, so you just said that you led the league in penalty minutes in this case. So how would you describe yourself to the audience? Sounds like you like to mix it up.
No, you know what? I was brought up, like I said, my dad was 5'2". Back then, when you got bullied, when I was a kid, people bullied you in person, not online. So it was, I was taught to stick up for myself, taught to stick up for my sister, my friends, my parents, anyone. I just kind of had that. My dad there was never back down. So when I played in junior hockey, I led every one of my teams in penalty minutes, but also in points, like goals and assists and things like that. But I always felt that part, being physical, was a necessary part of how I played. I love to hit. So if someone in the South, say in Winston-Salem, "Will you play hockey? What position?" I said, "Well, you'd probably understand it as a middle linebacker, because I hit as much as a middle linebacker." But I just thought if I made it, obviously the skill guys, that they're a different level. They think the game differently, and I just figure I was all piss and vinegar the way I played, and it was seek and destroy every game. And you have to earn every inch. So it was like relentless hard work, and it paid off for me. And I've taught my kids that there's nothing better than hard work to get ahead.
I feel like hockey, that's got like that like blue collar, grind it out. You're gonna get smacked around. It's like it's expected you're gonna get smacked, and you're gonna take the punches. You might throw the punches, and it sounds like you had a perfect combination of that throughout.
Oh no, one of the things I did is I trained a ton when I was younger, but we didn't have all the fancy training they did. I just did a lot of everything, and I was upset. I thought I didn't understand. We didn't have strength coaches. I'm old. I'm like your dad's age, and we didn't have strength coaches. We didn't have nutritionists, and the stuff they taught us, it was so different. So I thought the more I worked out, and if I worked out more than the guy beside me or the 10 guys beside me, I would get bigger and stronger and faster. Well, I never got any bigger. I got stronger. I might have got faster, but I never got bigger. And that's always a thing in sports. Like your height, your weight, things like that. And how many times I took my shirt off and they go, "Well, you don't look that big." I take my shirt off, and I had a pretty good physique because you're ripped from overtraining. And no matter what I would have ate, I never would have got any bigger. So it was like, when the coaches over, they'd see me like, "Oh, that guy puts his time in the gym." But I was never big enough. And even in one of the reasons I probably fought so much in pro hockey is I didn't look that big in my equipment. So the way I played, I was an easy guy. Someone would think they'd take advantage of, fighting me, and it would usually backfire on them.
So I'm curious then. So we've established you wanted to outwork your teammates, opposing players. You felt underestimated.
Yep.
Do you have a moment then, maybe if there's a specific fight where someone kind of messed around and they found out specifically of, like you're saying, "Hey, I actually packed more of a punch than you think," and they didn't anticipate that? Does any fight come back to mind for you yet? Oh,
that's louder than I thought.
I would think I'd be used to that by now.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I didn't know it was I just thought it was going to spray all over us. But, I think my first fight in junior, actually in my first training camp in junior, there was an NHL player in the training camp, and I hit him with what's called an open ice hit. Like I trucked him in the middle of the ice, and he probably weighed 60, 70 more pounds than me. And he dropped his gloves, came after me, and I beat the living daylights out of him. And then I remember after, I was like, "Oh my God." Like he was 6'2", 6'3", about 225. That training camp, I was 140-ish. Yeah. And he came in the shower after, and I thought he wanted to fight me in the shower. He's like, "You're crazy. What's wrong with you? I love you, kid." Like that was kind of a moment that thought, like, I just never looked at anyone as being bigger or better than me. And I just thought, no matter what's going to happen, I'm going to have to take a licking along the way. And, but I'm never going to back down, never going to quit. So I guess it might, like a journeyman player that would do anything to play. And I look in baseball, there was a guy, the old broadcaster for the Nationals, FB Santangelo, same type of guy. You just got to grind it out every day. So I worked on my skating until my last pro practice. I always, led the team in the conditioning camp, like the conditioning portion or whatever, but I just thought like work was my path. So I don't know if I enjoyed the game as much as I could have because I worked out so much, but it was, I just had to do the extra to make it.
Yeah. What gets lost always, like in today's day and age, maybe not getting lost, the work ethic for guys, you got to be able to work and you got to have talent to get to where you are, but then realizing the path, how hard it is to get there. Yeah. I'll say this, I grew up last name Ripken, and people that follow me, they understand my situation was a little bit different, but then I thought the norm growing up in my baseball family was, "Oh, well, like that's my dad's job. Well, I'm just going to go play baseball for a living." And then you get a little older, and you realize that it's really damn hard. And then you realize the grind of it is, and you put the time and effort and work in. And I defend him till the cows come home.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't answer my calls, he's a jackass. Cause they're like, "Hey dude, I just need you to pick up the phone to see if you're watching my dog." You know what I mean? But in general for him, I respect the hell out of the showing up each day. You're not going to feel good every day. Depending on what's happened, you can be battered, bruised, physically, mentally, but you got to keep going forward. And I thought that was such a great example to look at. And you're a testament of it. You had to grind. There's no guarantee, even with all the work that you did, you still might have not been good enough.
Yeah. I remember that movie Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, do I remember the movie?
And
It's incredible.
You remember the line in there? So it's like, so you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
That's the way I live my life. So it just, if there was one crack in the door of the daylight was coming through, I took it. I just took that positive. And, I guess I did a lot of things that were kind of ahead of its time. Like positive affirmations. I never told myself anything negatively. I actually told one of the kids that works for me now in the studio, I said, your positive self-talk, your work ethic, your being on time, all that stuff, it all matters. And I said, over the course of time, the compound effect of showing up to work every day and putting your heart and soul into it, it pays off. And it might be but I said, you to get ahead, you got to work and you got to get ahead. And going to your case, like you say, having the same last name as a certain guy, I always felt it was tougher for those guys to make it because I played, with guys whose parents and families, cousins, brothers were in the league, and they weren't graded on the same thing because they're expected to be that. They weren't allowed to be their own path.
Yeah.
And so I always looked like my own path. My path was my path. I never got. So with my kids, we kept it low key.
Yeah.
And like, in Texas, my neighbors didn't know what I did. Yeah. And I had a neighbor years ago come banging on my door, and he goes, and I go, open up. I go, Eric, what's up? And he goes, why didn't you tell me? I go, tell you what? He goes, that you played in the NHL. I said, you never asked. And I go, how'd you find out? He goes, I just watched you talking about Wayne Gretzky on NBC. Apparently you work in TV too. And, so it's, I just wanted to raise my kids without, they just be themselves, live their life, do what they want to do. So it was, it's always, it's just what you decide you want, you got to go after.
And with my work that I do now, so I retired in 22, got up to the AAA level. I mentioned before we came on air, right, that a lot of the guys are in Baltimore, or my former teammates, and around the league know a lot of guys. It's bittersweet that you make the decision because you got to move on, and that's life. But the biggest thing I try to do when we have guests on, so I had a chance. It's been a great week for us. The Ravens are celebrating their 25th anniversary of winning their first Super Bowl. So we had Brian Billick, the head coach, on. We had Brandon Stokely, who caught the first touchdown in that game, and then legendary broadcaster Jim Nantz. We had him on and talking about all the moments through. And when I always ask them, it's through the lens of how they view whether it's moments or their life. And the stories on that is what people need to relate to. And regardless of what you do, you can relate. Like my job is to explain whatever your profession might be. There's a lot of common concepts that we can relate to. And also the fact that you quoted Dumb and Dumber right here. We're talking about going to work and you're telling me there's a chance. First off, that is one of my favorite movies. Growing up, that was one of my dad's favorite movies. So I heard all the time about it's a lovely accent you have. Mm-hmm. Where are you from? Austria, put another shrimp on the barbie. All of that. We all are walking different paths, but it's the same path that we still have to the themes are the same.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part of the working, even in this industry. I don't know how you felt transitioning out of playing. It might have been easy for you with broadcasting. At times right now, I stare at a camera and I go, what the hell am I actually doing? I don't feel as confident with this, but as I got going more, it became more routine. I mean, you've been broadcasting now for
20 years almost.
It's 20 years.
Yeah.
I was going to give you, say 25. So you're a seasoned vet. No, regardless.
Well,
but
you know what though? What the key to broadcasting, and my first boss at I was with Comcast back then. It was Comcast Sportsnet, and she said, "Take the gloves off. I want you to talk on camera like you do in the back room when you're cussing, but don't cuss on air, and just be yourself." She goes, "Because I like yourself." She goes, "By the way, the camera is an inanimate object. It doesn't judge you. It can't do anything. So you're talking to a camera. It can't talk back." She goes, "You're always right. Who's going to argue with you? The host isn't there to argue with you. So no matter what you say, just say it with conviction." And so I just wasn't nervous around the camera anymore after I learned that. It's just like talking to your phone or this can of Monster that I have over here. It's like, so you just talk and just believe in yourself. You've been doing it your whole life. So just do it, just spit it out. And, showing up, just once again, you showing up and doing this every day is you're getting better, incrementally better. We all are every day. No matter what you put your time in, it just becomes automatic.
The last time I was here at Alliance, so I came back, I guess it was last spring of 2024. And even where I was at, it's fun to see the process because in certain cases, I feel like there hasn't been the progression, and I go back and watch, and I go, damn, who the hell is that guy talking
we
now?
kill ourselves when we judge ourselves. So
Do you like hearing yourself speak?
I still, you know what? I still don't pay attention when I do a pre-production thing. I don't pay attention to it. And I was talking to someone yesterday, and it was like, I like your voice. I said, well, I didn't want to put my voice down, but I was just like, you know what? I just try not to. I don't critique myself anymore. I don't say anything negative about myself. I just know I got to put my work in, be prepared, and be ready. Because if you judge yourself, you're always going to judge to the negative.
What do you do then in that case? Because in sports, I actually had a very hard time with this. In baseball, by the way, too, I don't know how you view it with hockey. Baseball, it's like, it's not like you're going to fail or you might fail. You're going to fail, and you're going to fail a lot.
Yeah.
You know, Hall of Famers, you hit 300, that means you fail 70% of the time. I failed more than that. I'll be honest right there. If I failed less, I would still be playing. And you want to try to take the positives out of it, but it's hard. What did you tell yourself when you did fail? To not, you said you always had positive affirmation.
I never dwelled on it. I just said, I'll never do that again. So, our games, statistically, it's way different than baseball.
Yeah.
So I can't say if I was, if I struck out, I can't say I'm never going to do that again. But if there's a giveaway or something, I would just, rather than focusing on that, because now you're replaying a tape over and over, now you're ingraining it into your subconscious, a negative. So I learned at a young age, I learned how to ski without ever skiing. I visualized skiing and was an excellent skier the first day I skied. I bought a book about it, and I kind of used it my entire life, is that I just focus on doing things. So I'm a big fan of like Bear Bryant, who only showed his players how to do things properly. Never, don't do this because this will happen. He only showed you to do this because this will happen when you do it like this. So I just always think that you focus on doing everything properly and you don't let the negative. So it's a little bizarre, but it's the way you learn too. It's if you focus on the negative all the time, you're not going to build. Yeah. You're not going to build ahead.
I could go down a rabbit hole with you on this because I feel like I'm a lot more positive in this next career for myself than when I played.
Well, that's the biggest thing that you have. Yeah. But
yeah.
That's, and you know what, when you're my age, you're going to see that, you put your time and you do your work, and, it just, the compound effect of doing things, building and building and building your building blocks. So it's, I just go back. I love all the stories that we see of the guys who came out of nowhere and somehow they made it. What was it? The Mark Wahlberg, Invincible.
Yeah.
Like that. Like he was just too damn dumb to think about failing. You just got to keep working and putting your time in. And no matter what you do, you got to show up and you're going to get ahead.
I feel like most of the effort now is not quitting. I remember in this industry when I started, and I know I got to ask you some hockey questions here in a minute, but mainly maybe not what you think I'm going to ask you. Maybe it is, but where was I going with this? I just lost my damn train of thought. Zach, where was I going with this? You remember? You don't remember. I just had a good thought with this.
I have no clue where you're going with
that. Brutal, man. I had a great thought. It's going to come back to me. It was about.
You were too busy saying that he wasn't going to expect your question.
Yeah.
That you then got your question.
Yeah.
Which maybe you expect.
We were just talking about the journey, the process. Oh, there it is. It's back. See, you just got to talk it out sometimes. So I remember when I got into broadcasting and I said, I want to do this. And a lot of times I started this work, by the way, because I got said, hey, we like you, but we don't like you enough to give you more opportunities. Yeah. You're too green. We want to invest in you just yet. So that's hence I started the show. And we've been doing this now consistently for 2 years. And over the last 2 years, when I went back to some of these people, they said, oh, I'm glad to see you're doing well. To be honest, I didn't think that you would be doing this. And I turned my head. I said, well, what do you mean? I told you I was committed. He goes, I wanted to see how committed you actually were. It's one thing to say that you're going to do it for a month, 3 months, but will you do it for a year? Will you do it for 2 years? And not just sporadically, are you going to be doing it every day? Are you showing up consistently to do it over and over and over again? Because a lot of people say they want to be a baseball player, hockey player, they want to be a broadcaster, but understanding what that means to actually go through it. And that goes back, tying it in of you got to show up each day.
Yeah.
You got to keep going. And some days might be complete. I can curse on my, it can be complete horseshit. So other days it can be, man, you think that you got it all figured out. And then there's the days in the middle, and I think that from what you are saying, that's resonating a lot with me.
Well, the only podcast I listen to when I go through, if I hear a new podcast, if I go through and they've been on and there's 4 or 5 months without a podcast, I'm not going to listen to one podcast. So I always go with the guys who we all probably suck at the start, but you get better every day. That's why you train. And part of the best podcasts out there are the guys that are consistent and put their time in. I think it's with everything. It refines who you are. And like when I broadcast, if I screw up, I don't even think about the screw up anymore. I just keep going. And it's, just because you're dwelling on something that you sucked at for a second, but just don't make the same mistake. But showing up's the most important thing. Like it's, they go, why do you show up to work so early every time? I go, I can be in a room all myself and just take it in sometimes. And, I make a note. I make my notes for every game, but I never look at them really. It's just a process of creating the notes. And once I've done it, it's committed, and I don't need to do them, but I still do them because it's part of the process of being prepared all the time.
It's your preparation work, but you're confident in what you're doing. You don't need those, but it helps you build that confidence.
You feel like you're prepared. And, I know that when I was younger with like working out, I went to golf one time. You'll love this. Went to golf one time. All my friends were drafted. So my dad goes to me. My dad's a working class guy from the oil patch. And he goes, where the hell, he used a different word, but where the F are you going dressed like that? And I had a golf shirt on and a pair of shorts. And I'm going golf with the guys. What guys? So I named all the guys. He goes, like F you are. You're going to the damn gym. And he never made me go to the gym ever. Like I never was forced to do anything. I was never forced to skate extra, like all the things I did. It was just a different time, when kids were outside all the time doing what you do. And I went to the gym. I played more games at every single level, the single A level, the double A, the triple A, and the major leagues. And all of those guys at every level, I played more than every one of those guys, first and second round draft picks. And I worked out. So I learned that lesson from those guys. So there was years that I worked out every single day of the year. And I just thought, if I'm not doing it, someone else is. They're going to get a leg up on me. And then the same thing with being a good teammate. There might be a guy that's going to in line to take your job. You still help that guy. He's your teammate. So you help him train. It makes you a better player as well by teaching someone what you were taught along the way. And, the veterans that helped me when I got into the game, I look at, at one point there was a guy, my first NHL game, I was called up to replace the star player who was out with an injury. I get to the morning skate. All of a sudden, he's out there looking perfect. I'm like, damn it. I'm going to be that guy that got called up one time but never got to play. And you hear those stories all through the years. There was an older guy on the team that got picked up on waivers. I loved the guy as a kid. He was like a 30-goal, 300 penalty minute type of guy. And he goes to coach, he goes, you're not going to play that kid tonight now? And he goes, no. He goes, we're in first place. Tonight's for first place in the league. And he's not ready yet to be a full-time guy. And the guy goes, well, he's playing in my spot tonight. And I'm watching the conversation. And, the older me would have said, hey, guys, I'm right here. And I can hear everything you're saying. And so they have an FU fight. And he tells the coach, my back is out. I can't play tonight anyways. He goes, I've heard so much about that kid. I want him to play. Coach comes over. You're effing playing tonight. So I'll never forget that he did that for me. And it was like, he didn't have to, but he knew there was, he was kind of not passing the torch, but he had his time. He was giving me mine.
That's awesome. You want to hopefully have people in your corner and you don't know which ways it's going to happen or how you're going to get your chance.
Yep.
Sometimes it's injury or sometimes it's somebody else noticing what you're putting in. Yeah. And that goes back to you're going into everything you do blindly.
Yeah.
You're going in blindly with no guarantee that you're going to have success the next day.
Yeah. I call it lightning strikes. Like, so the one guy that saw me and loved me enough to put me in the big leagues or get me a contract, I got a lightning struck of one person like me. And then they're just all those times, like you just got to be prepared when your lightning strike happens.
Yeah. So you never know who's watching.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm continuing to learn that more and more now. Zach, take notes back there, buddy. He's still young. So I'm only 32. I might look older with my little Picasso hat on right now. Zach's 25. So he's a young buck. I'm trying to teach him. We're learning together. But I could talk to you about these stories all the time because I love that. I know you got time and you got to do some things. You got to work tonight. So let me ask you one question first. Why do hockey players in a sport where you get your ass beat play for 20 years? How does that happen? Like Alexander Ovechkin, I feel is going to play till he's 60. Like he could.
Well, thank God management and ownership in the leagues have evolved because they never used to allow that to happen. There was a few, and I know the day I turned 30, I got sat out. So they used to try to prematurely end your career when you turn 30, but now they realize your mental game is sharper, all your trials and tribulations. So now they allow guys, and with fitness, everyone's got to be in shape now. My first training camp, there were 67 guys, and there was only about 12 of us with physical, like a physique that you actually saw muscles in the body, and the other guys, childhood idols. I was like, guy's got a damn beer belly. So the game has changed, and I know baseball guys used to be really broad and thick, but now it's a completely different, style of body or shape that baseball players have because once again they got all these strength coaches, nutritionists, all the different things. But I think now in hockey, the longevity, they realize it's good to have veteran players. You have a better blend now, but they used to gas guys when they were 30, and for guys to make it to 31. So one of my goals when I was younger was, do this, do that, play in the NHL till I'm 30. It's funny. I got there. I was so pissed off. I was like, this is the best I ever played. And every time I play, it was a better game. And I was like, they're trying to end me because I'm 30. And it treated me like I was 72. So you look back. So every game, after I was 30 was a bonus to me because they were trying to end you prematurely. It sucked.
Could you imagine if they had that same philosophy with Obi now, which, by the way, he's off to a good start this year. Team's off to a great start. And obviously he broke the record.
He's a freak. He's not normal. He is. The first time I saw him in the dressing room, basically in a jockstrap, he was getting ready to do a urine test for the Olympics in 2010. And I was with my son, and my son was 16, 17 years old. And we're in the dressing room, and Ovi came over to meet my son. Again, he'd met him in Dallas years before when he was little. And he walked up, and there was muscles everywhere in his leg. I'd never seen. He was built like one of those dudes in that movie, the 300.
Yeah.
Remember that? How jacked those guys were?
We are.
And he's walking, and his muscles are like shaking like this. And then even when he's walking away, we're looking at his ass. I'm like, what the hell was that? My kid's like, oh my God, Dad, it's like a freak. He is literally a freak. He is not. He's got thumbs that are, double the size and double the length of everyone else. His hands are gigantic. He's almost like Andre the Giant holding a beer. You don't see the beer can, but he is, there's some, and he's got the mindset he has. He only thinks in patterns of success that he can do anything. So it's, here he is. He's got more than a point a game. He's 40 years old, 21st season, and he just thinks he can, and therefore he does.
Is there a story specifically throughout all this? I mean, of course, we're going to look at the night he broke it.
Yeah.
And also last year being injured and coming back, by the way, and breaking it is nuts. But do you have your thoughts of that night when he broke it, or if there was a moment through this whole process? You talked about Ovi like the freak of nature, but is there a moment to you that like might not be the iconic moment, but you're just like, damn, that's what makes so special?
I go back to the year they won the Stanley Cup. They were down in 2018 in the playoffs. First two games of the playoffs they had lost, and they had lost to the Columbus Blue Jackets, who they ended up winning the series in 6 games. But after the second loss, he defiantly said he looked like a lumberjack. He looked like he was, a murderer, an axe murderer. And he said after the press, he says, "We will win this series in 6 games." And he literally, and I remember in the third period of that game, he was pissed off. He came out and he knocked the hell out of a guy that's now his teammate, Pierre-Luc Dubois. He hit him with one of the best hits I've ever seen. And he had like 7 shots and 7 hits in the third period. They went to overtime. They lose the game. And he came out and he was so defiant. And I just knew, and I had told everyone a month earlier, I said, you guys know I normally don't say this, but those of you who bet, you should bet the Caps to win the Stanley Cup. It was like March 1st, his 1000th game. And they're going, why? I said, because I have it. And they go, what's that? I said, I've seen it in my life. They have it. And they will, and the guys were freaking out. And they go, you never say shit like that. You usually said, well, it's the Penguins in 6 or 7, and you're always right. And I said, they're going to win the Stanley Cup, guys. This is like a true team. And I said, they're all in line behind their captain. There's something different about him right now. He's tweaked in the right way, and they're all with him. And I said, they're on the same page with the coach staff. When they won the Stanley Cup, the most important moment to me was when he hoisted that cup. You know, all these years, because he's a Russian, they said he didn't care. He's just a selfish individual. I always argued for him because, you know, I'm not a contrarian, but I don't care where you're from. I don't care, you know, who your mom and dad are. I don't care what circumstance, what zip code, what country you come from. You're either a good guy or a bad guy. And to me, he's always been a good guy. And there was something special about his superstardom at the time that he was ready to win a Stanley Cup. And so when I looked at him, how happy he was to win that cup, no one could ever say that this guy didn't care about winning.
It meant everything to him. And also he celebrated like it meant everything to him. That might've been my favorite moments after the fact was, you know, the phrase work hard, play hard. He worked hard. He played hard.
I was with the Edmonton Oilers when they won a Stanley Cup when I was, you know, just starting. After I got from Boston to Edmonton, I got to witness all that as an extra player. And there were no cameras back then, but that stuff used to happen. And they had fun. It was like nothing I've ever seen before. And so we all got to see this because it's an era of the smartphone, and everyone had he was at my buddy's bar the day they did the keg stands and, you know, all of that, and the jumping in the pool, the Georgetown waterfront, not pool, but fountain.
Yeah.
And everyone had a phone that day. And I remember I'm watching it live, sitting in my bed, and this Cap security guy goes, you want to come and hang out and keep an eye on the guys with me? I was like, nope, I'm done being around those guys. I was with them the night they won the Cup at Hakkasan in Vegas. And I said, I'm all good, man. I just wanted to see my guys win a Stanley Cup in my lifetime.
Yeah.
And to watch all that, I was like, oh my God. And then I think about a couple nights later, he slept with the Stanley Cup. His wife took a great photo. But 3 weeks later, he showed up in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, wherever his house in Florida is. And he started training earlier than he's ever trained. He showed up in training camp that year. He says he was the same weight, but he was super lean and fit. But they came back, they had their first son was born in Florida. And so it didn't go as long as we all thought, but the days that he was partying, it was probably a 23-hour event.
Oh, I think it was. But you know what? He earned it. He deserved it. Yeah. The team did. And honestly, in this whole region, there's no hockey team in Baltimore. I mean, going back to the 90s or 80s, 70s, the Skipjacks.
Yeah.
So a couple of the broadcasters now, Kenny Albert, who now broadcasts for the NHL for the Rangers, I believe, and also does Fox for football.
Yeah.
Kenny, friend of the show. We had the Baltimore connection. We're talking about Baltimore Skipjacks, but point being is they ain't here anymore. Where does everyone revolve to in this region? The Caps.
Yeah.
And playoff hockey is intense. I love it. It's fun. I couldn't play hockey. I get my ass kicked. I like to think I'm a tough guy, but I'll be honest, I ain't that tough on the ice. Like, I will be competitive on the basketball court. That's like a passion for me. Baseball, you piss me off, I'll find a way to get you back. But hockey, if I'm going to be in a fight, like, I'm going to take the guy that I ain't underestimating you. I'll tell you that. I don't want to get in a fight with you now.
You know, Baltimore used to be my favorite town in the American Hockey League because it was so cold in all the other places. We came to Baltimore, it was like going to Los Angeles. Like, as far as comparative to the leagues, you're looking, you know, Los Angeles used to be the in-season vacation back when I played. You know, you just spend 4 or 5 days there, and you wouldn't practice for the first 2 or 3, and then you would have to make sure you won that game. Otherwise, you'd pay the price the next time you went back. You know, they might make it a shorter trip, but Baltimore was a spot with all the good restaurants. It was warm compared to playing in Maine or Springfield, Mass, or Providence, Rhode Island, or places like that, or Halifax, Nova Scotia. So when we got down there, it was t-shirt weather to us.
Yeah.
And then eat at what was Sabatino's. That was like the go-to for the league back then. So I always wished that Baltimore had a brand new arena to be the Caps farm team again. Not that it's a minor league city,
Yeah.
but it's not a hockey town by and large. Like Washington's got so many suburbs now that have hockey arenas and things like that. So
For
it's
sure.
a dip. But I always thought that would have been great if they could have kept that. And because they used to have really good teams there. And then they moved to Portland, Maine, and won championship the first or second year they were there.
Of course they did. You know, people love hockey in Baltimore. A lot of people in Baltimore, the affiliations down at the Caps. I don't know if I'm keeping you from running around the Lions here, because I know Tom's going to come on in a little bit.
Yeah.
Zach, do you have a question for Allan here, or you're just taking it all in back there? You're muted.
Yeah. Okay. I see. I was muted now. No, I was going to say this conversation has been incredible from the stories. Allan, you might have a second career as a therapist. You talking about, I was sitting here. I literally, when you were telling the one story, had my goosebumps. My hair on my arms was standing up when you talking about getting your shot and, the veteran standing up for you and be like, hey, I got a back problem. I can't play today. And just, can you talk a little bit more about being on a team and just kind of the brotherhood that goes into, you obviously, it's a tough sport. You're going to, like you said, you're going to get hit. You're going to get into fights. Having that brotherhood and having a veteran stand up for you, be like, no, this kid deserves a shot. What was that like throughout your career?
Well, just that whole experience with the Boston Bruins, I look at my coach, the guy that originally signed me to a contract, I had a really good contract right off the bat. And guys in the minor leagues were paid horseshit back then. But I played in preseason for the Bruins. I was the only rookie to get into the games. And the coach had congratulated me after the last preseason game on making the team. And then the next day, the general manager called me in and he said, and all the veteran players said, like, they don't know how I did it, but I made the team. It, like, as far as where does this kid come out of nowhere, played in the league that no one's ever heard of. And so I got cut the next day, but the general manager was like, I still don't know about you. I don't know why you weren't drafted. I don't know. He goes, but I just got to make sure you're real. And I got cut. And then it's funny, they picked up on waivers that older player that sat out for me. And, he was a guy in his 30s now, which was like being 70s back then. Back then. And, but I look at my coach that I had, this guy named Mike Milbury, who was kind of a lightning rod, like a controversial figure during his playing career. And then he's that guy in the shoe in the old Boston Bruin in Madison Square Gardens, hitting the guy, fan of the shoe. But he taught me so many things about mindset of every game is go game. And I already had that attitude, but just whether you hate your teammates or like them, there's always a guy in the room that's kind of a pain in the ass. I learned to gravitate and bring those guys into the fold. So it was always like, make sure everyone's a part of the team. And you stick up, everyone sticks up. Your good teams, everyone's all in the fight together. And then I remember as my career went on, like I developed that reputation in the room, like being glue.
Yeah.
And I get traded from the Edmonton Oilers to the LA Kings. And I went to their farm team in New Haven, Connecticut. And my first game was in Portland, Maine. And I got there and the team kind of sucked. I'd played against them and they had a bunch of guys that screwed up first rounders that showed up out of like 30 and 40 pounds out of shape at camp after being drafted a couple months before. And I just kind of remember putting the team on my back and I said, oh, no, we're going for beer. Like first day, we're all going together. And it was like, I forced everyone to get in the fight and we won like 10 games straight. We went to the league finals, lost in the league championship in 6 games. And it put me in the NHL. But it was the same thing. It was like, bring everyone together and, like everyone's in it. Everyone sticks up. We don't pick on guys in the room. And I learned that in junior from a coach of mine, is that you don't let the older teammates or the veteran teammates pick on or bully anyone. And it's kind of the way I was brought up in my life because my dad was a 5'2" guy. He got bullied a lot as a kid, but you always stick up, but you bring people in. So one of the things he taught me when I was a kid is that, that wimpy kid with the glasses back then, the stereotype, no one picks on that kid when you're around. So you develop that attitude. And I kind of became more like an alpha guy. And even as a rookie, I'd always take over the room because it was like everyone's in it together. And you go eat together, you drink together, you golf, like whatever it is, you do it together. And everyone's got to be included. Veteran player that wants to go on his own, he's not allowed to. So it was just, to me, it was always, if you're going to be on a good team, make it a team. And you can't have, this group of guys going that way, that you'll never win when the teams are separated like that. So I just think it's always the togetherness of the bond. And that's the hardest part when your career's over. You're the greatest, funniest teammates and shit you can't talk about anywhere else in your life. Just the stupidity of pro sports in general, because you're a kid playing this awesome game, whatever your sport is, and you don't grow up till the game's over.
Yeah. And probably then you would say the same thing. There's moments that you cherish that you had success on the ice, the team accolades, but what you miss when the game's over is the inner workings of the relationships in the locker room.
And then what happens years later, you do these alumni events, and we had one of the greatest things I've been a part of, the Caps 50th anniversary. And so being one of the guys on the board for the alumni, when we planned this, and, we come up with ideas. They have people that execute everything for us now, but we had, the first Caps team is the worst team in the history of the National Hockey League.
I did not realize
and back then, teams in every sport were so cheap. Guys didn't get T-shirts, they didn't get ball caps, they didn't get like all the swag they get now. And so the biggest thing when I was like I said, I want everyone to get swagged out. I want swag itineraries. We all miss our itineraries. I want everyone to have every day like a hoodie, a sweatshirt, a blazer, whatever. I want everyone to have shit with their name on it, their number. I said, it's a really big deal. A bag with their name. And I said, this is stuff because these guys played when it was embarrassing, and they're probably embarrassed. I played on that first. They still played in the big leagues. And I said, I want it to be super special. I want, like, we did these varsity alumni jackets that were, you can only wear them to these events, but they're so badass. And to see all the guys, what I wanted everyone to do was, when we all finally got together, I said, I don't want dog and pony. I want us to all just be able to hang out one night for 5 or 6 hours, more than one night. So they had a concert for us. Was it Third Eye Blind? We had the arena for Third Eye Blind, and about 10,000 season ticket holders, and we didn't have to do anything. We got introduced, but we hung out backstage for 4 or 5 hours. And I asked the guys, don't just hang with your old teammates, hang with everyone. Look their hockey DB up, like their database, like all the profile. And it was a most special weekend. And then we did red carpet. I was on set, and I saw guys crying as they're walking the red carpet because of what it become.
Yeah.
Every time it gets me.
I mean, and it's the emotional connection. And this is why when we say that the phrase that it's bigger than sports, and when you move on, it's a part of you that feels not that something dies inside of you, but it's missing.
Yeah.
So that's what you're trying to bring back for people of, it's so special deep down, and the reaction you're getting is the realization for them about how important it was. Like they hide it a little bit of, well, it's gone. I don't, it's that time of my life's over with.
And I don't think they should. I think guys should always stay within their game, and reach out and be a part of it. Doesn't mean you're hanging on. I think it means, it was the most fun you ever had in your life, the camaraderie, the things you dreamed about it your entire life, whether it was one game or 1,000. It's your identity. It's a part of your identity that you always use. And so, I just look back at all of those different moments that we have in the games. And like I said, even if I didn't play, if I would have played in the minor leagues till I was 40, I'd have still been the happiest dude in the world. Although I was happier in the big leagues, but
it's nicer up there. It's a little more comfortable.
Yeah. And so it's funny. We all, when we were doing all this, and we're all like, you have your favorite baseball players, and I have my favorite hockey players growing up. And when you finally get to meet them, I remember being on the stage that night at Capital One Arena when the band was there. And there's one of the old guys I hadn't got to meet yet, like personally shake his hand. And I'm waiting, I'm ushering everyone off the stage, making sure they all know where to go. And this guy goes, hey, I've been dying to meet you. I look, I was the guy that I heard all these stories about when I was a kid. I go, I've been dying to meet you too. And we hung out the whole weekend. The guy's in his 70s. And I was like, I heard so many stories about this guy. He had said he had heard so many stories about, and we were going back and forth. I was like, we're bonded, and we got 20 some years apart in age. And I watched his career. He watched mine as an older guy, as a coach and things like that. So there's so many bonds that you have. And, you know, in our game, we're from all around the world now. But those bonds are the greatest things in the world. And then when you meet a guy from another sport, you have the bonds too of like knowing you put your time in, what it meant to your family, all those different things. So being in the sports world has been amazing.
It's there's a story to it all. You know, Jim Nance talking about broadcasting, and Jim's seen about every situation, it feels like, in the broadcasting space. And we were talking about it, Zach, the other night with him, just the landscape of how everything is and the inner workings of how it is. And it's not that the maybe the surface level is the results on the field or the ice or the court or whatever it is, but deep down there's so many more inner workings of it that's what makes it special. And yeah, I'm gonna have to, well, I guess we might have to wrap up here, but I'm gonna find my way down to the Caps a little bit more. I'm always following. I think I could sit here and talk for like 4 hours. Don't come at me with that right here. I know, Irene, we were having a lovely conversation. Tom, we were having a lovely conversation here. What did I do wrong this time? I did something wrong this time? No. Hey, and not the clocks, not the elf. But I don't think people have figured out what I'm talking about yet for the clock. But we'll wait on that one. Don't worry about that. Well, Allan, I'll have to buy for time. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
you.
Good luck tonight. You don't need luck. You're fine. It's a second nature.
Thanks, man.
I appreciate it.
First place, nothing to worry about, right? Yeah. Hey, man.
Yeah. It's a little messy in here right now, and we're trying to continue to do the show. Zach, hey, this is it's not my property, but can't damage the space unless Tom says it's okay.
All right.
It's okay
There you
then.
go after it.
Yeah, we're having fun here again. Well, Allan, appreciate it again.
Thanks, guys.
Of course.
All right. Great meeting you. Take it easy.
All right, Zach. Well, you remember Tom, Zach, Tom?
Hey,
Tom.
how you doing?
Yeah, so Zach was here with me last year,
Yep.
Tom. And by the way, for everyone that's tuning in, Tom kind of runs the place here at Alliance Material, CEO. It looks, I got to say, I do like being in the elements outside, but this is a nice little area. We turned the lights down so we could get the vibrant clocks here.
It's nice in here with the lights down.
I know. It's very intimate. It's relaxing. We were going down memory lane with Allan. We talk about life, the grind. I was getting emotional when he was talking about relationships. I guess it's a good timing for that because that's kind of what you guys build yourself off of here: relationships, community, everything connected. Well, for those that don't know, I can explain, but I think you're the best guy to explain what's going on here at Alliance Material, right here in Jessup, Maryland.
So we're a 100% employee-owned company. Everyone owns a piece of the rock in the company, and we are kicking tail and taking names when it comes to forklifts and warehouse solutions. So we cover a lot of ground regionally on forklifts. On the warehouse solution side, we're nationwide. We have a lot of great contracts out there, and the end result of all that means that our price per share keeps going up, and we keep creating more and more millionaires in this company.
That sounds nice. I'll be honest. And Zach, can you hear us okay, both of us? Give it the thumbs up. Just making sure for the if I move away a little bit or Tom's moving away that we're still good. Great. Yep. See, enjoy yourself. So why don't you elaborate a little bit on that? Because when you throw out the M word, millions.
Yep.
People will sit there and be like, kind of sounds too good to be true at times. How does that actually work?
All right.
Well, how does that work?
So it works. So we're an ESOP. So every year we release shares to the employees. They don't pay a penny for it. We just give them the shares for their hard work. I call it sweat equity. They put in a hard day's work, and we give them some shares at the end of the year. It's set up like a retirement plan, and they grow with it and they vest with it. The longer you stay, the better chance you have to be a millionaire, and it also helps if you get promoted along the way as well. So, but with that said, we now have just about 30 millionaires in this company. And I think after this year, we're having a pretty darn big year this year, so we might double that number this year.
Wait, like this year, you're going to double that from 30?
30 to 60. That's
So my math-
my
Zach,
calculations tell me.
what?
Yeah.
60? Did you carry the one over there, Zach? Did you carry that correctly?
Yeah, I can tell you I'm about to leave this podcast. That's for sure.
Hey, well, actually, one thing that I have wanted to do, I did want to come down here and learn how to get certified to drive one of those puppies, one of the forklifts. That might be a hazard, so you might need a little extra training
If I
for
can
me.
do it, you can do it.
Well, I mean, that's also the part of it too, right? Is that a guy like me that I can hand up, and Zach, put your hand up too, because don't lie to yourself. I don't know anything about how I would operate some of that machinery or anything, but that's the beauty of how things are set up, right? You guys, you're good. You're good. Yeah. Get some water. I was felt bad. I was gonna offer Tom some water and there's a thing of hand sanitizer.
Gosh, he's doing all this great work, and you're just gonna try to poison him with hand sanitizer.
I'll wash my hands for a moment. And if you guys are new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. By the way, this is what's been fun about when we go on the road. And yes, I know people want to talk Ravens and Orioles. We had people that want us to talk about the Caps and hockey. I always might need Allan to come on and give us motivational talk.
Without a doubt, we need Allan May on. That was, I feel like, man, some of you've heard me say this before this week. That was one of the best interviews, just from life standpoint. Like, that was incredible.
It was incredible. I'm sorry. I don't know if you heard. I was about to grab this, like, oh, here, have some of that, and this is great, but not for that. You okay?
I'm good.
Hanging in there.
Hanging in there.
I mean, it's tough. It's tough when you got so many hats that you're. Oh gosh, what did I do? Well, that's fine. It looks great. All right. So you were explaining you don't need any experience. You don't need to know what you're doing. You just gotta. Did I miss that? Is that the part where you're at?
Yeah. So
coming
you
into
have
this?
to have common sense, but you
Okay.
have a driver's license, forklift driver's license, no problem.
Just have some common sense, and you guys can help further your common sense. You just got to have a little bit of a baseline.
Correct.
60. Did you, when this all was, as this is scaled up, and I'm entertain me with this, because for me growing in this business space, I think last year I came here in 2024, May maybe last year.
Right.
And we're continuing to grow, and I'm continuing to help create and scale this business. For you with growing this, I mean, I gotta say it out loud, 60 millionaires are what you think that you're going to have with this company. 10 years ago, or however long it could be when you were in a position of building this, did you ever imagine like this is where it would go?
I didn't know that it would go. That was our goal, but we didn't think it would happen this fast. We've really had a strong growth path for the last 5 years. And it's blown our minds what we've been able to do. But I think it just started with that, getting all employees bought in. And once they bought in and saw what it could do for them, results just started coming in tenfold.
And you guys are very big on community and being involved and everyone feeling like a family, and also feeling like you got to keep your head on a swivel here as Irene just firing off the Nerf. I don't feel safe when I'm in here for this case, but it seems fun, and it's fun week, by the way. You guys have I'm using the wrong word, but it's not pillars. What's
30 core fundamentals?
That, you know what? That's the better way to describe it. 30 core fundamentals. And there's 30 of them specifically, but this week's fundamental is for fun. Right. Hence confetti. Hence why I'm out here. I'm here for the fun part, even though I've been scared a little bit, Tom.
I like when you're here, because especially in this room, because I know I'm not going to get doused with silly string. Well, at least it's, confetti, but it is not silly string all over my face, because usually they've even got me on the Peloton bike in the back and covered with silly string.
Well, I don't know. Would they dare to douse? And this is a beautiful room. The clocks, you can't mess up the clocks with silly string.
I don't think you want to mess up the clocks.
No, but I mean, I'm still not getting used to the confetti going off. That's one thing. But the environment in here is great. It's relaxed. It's fun. You can tell people care. But that's just one element. What are some other core fundamentals? Or maybe I should ask you, to maybe explain again what are some of your favorite or ones that stick with you of the core fundamentals?
Yeah, so my favorite of all is pay it forward because I'm a pay it forward kind of guy.
Yeah.
The ESOP is a clear indication of how we pay it forward. But we kind of do that and we kind of preach that to everybody. No matter where you are, whatever you're doing, what's the best way that you can pay it forward? Don't worry about whether you can get some. Even our sales reps have this approach. We don't care about getting that sale. We more want to figure out how can we help you.
Yeah.
And if we figure that out, typically the sales just come. So that pay it forward is very, very big for us. Act like the owner you are. That's a big thing too, because we want people to think about it. You're really an owner in this place. Doesn't matter if you turn the lights off before you leave at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right. And those little simple things go a long way. And that's part of why we have such great success here.
Yeah. The relationships are everything. I think that you would agree with that. And building strong relationships and understanding that's where the ground level for what you're trying to do. And if you're trying to do right by others, paying it forward, or with your employees, realizing this is our company, it's our group. I think that's the part you've always discussed it right there. It's we are in with this, even though you might have a certain title, which, hey, you do. It's not that you think you're here and everyone's here. It's everyone's on the common ground and you're trying to reach a common goal, everyone to have success. And if you do the right things to help people, typically things turn out in the right way. I mean, I'm trying to teach young Zach back there because, he looks up to me so much now. But relationships are everything. Working with people is everything. What's one thing in the business space, though, that you've learned the most then that we haven't touched on that's maybe helped instill more of those core fundamentals now, or just from you through all the years of experience? I'm always looking for advice on how like I said, to grow. What are some things that maybe you learned along the way?
Yeah, I guess I would always say never underestimate people and what their abilities are and what they can do. We are in a blue collar business here.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm always amazed at the people here that do not have a college degree, but have just business intelligence. And we capitalize on that all the time. We have a lot of people that don't have degrees, that are millionaires, and they earned every penny of it because they just have a good business sense and they know the right thing to do. And if you do the right thing and you treat your customers well, great things will happen.
Yeah, it's really simple when it comes down to it. The concepts are simple, but sometimes when we go through it, whether it's self-inflicted, where it's stress, what you think you need to do, what actually the reality is of what you need to do. And also typically when you work more efficiently, you keep concepts simple and you do right by those, things get a lot easier than the process. You have success and the phrase work smarter, not harder. I think that that's like a big part of what it is. And I'm glad you mentioned that about the degrees. I was a college dropout technically until I was playing baseball and they said they'd pay for my schooling. So that was my wife's favorite joke at the time, that she was going to marry a college dropout, of just like she went through all this schooling. And I said, hey, I think I can be sophisticated. And I went back and I finished up the degree because I was 2 years in and I was getting it paid for. I had that luxury from pro ball. But broadcasting, I got zero degree or understanding in broadcasting. How I learned and still continue to learn is by setting up the cameras and showing up to do it each time. And I learned from it and the savviness of it. And that's where I think where people can be. You mentioned don't underestimate people. Titles are just titles. I remember there's a venture capital mentor, I should say. And he would talk about when he'd bring people in to work for his firm group. And he said, I didn't always take the smartest one. And he would be talking about all these big corporations. And he's not saying that they weren't qualified. They were qualified, number one in the class, straight A's. They looked like they had the part, but he said what they lacked was the common sense. They lacked being able to work with people. And I'd rather have those people than ones that might be able to tell me on paper what works, but can't facilitate that and to put it into motion. And I feel like that's what you guys have really.
Completely agree with you talking about.
Look at that.
Sure.
There we go.
But when you start talking about this, you're running your business, and right, you have a vested interest in making it better and learning every day, so you can get better and better and better, and hopefully you make more money in doing it. And that's what we have here.
Yeah.
We have everybody participating in it. So it's I'm a CEO of the company, and I only own 2.5% of the company, and the rest of all the people own 97.5%, and I'm doing just fine.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's just one of the greatest things that we've came up with. And I always thank the owners that were departing for doing this, because they could have chosen a bunch of different ways to do that. But that was they love the idea of giving it back to all the employees. And we've done it. The last 5 years, we've gone from 50. We just broke $200 million for the first time ever 2 days ago.
Hey, and where's the confetti for that right now?
Oh, hey,
right there. Zach, we're on our way. We're a little bit further away, but you guys, that's incredible.
So we're looking for big things next year. We got a lot of stuff in the backlog, so it's should be another great year.
The 200 million. So 60 millionaires, Zach, write that down. Just surpassed 200 million. Damn. I don't even know what to say to that. That's just amazing. And it's all also right in the backyard. I always tell people there's a lot of great businesses that are here in Maryland. And I mean a ton. Let me guess. Zach, you got to tell, can't believe my wife's trying to wonder what's going on right now. I will say guilty. I told her I would check in. I might have not told her. I might have forgot to send the text message to say that our dog had been walked and taken care of during it. So she's probably a little bit worried about that. Where I was going, there's so many great companies here, and you guys are looking for more opportunities. You're looking for more people, correct? I don't want to overstep.
Absolutely. We got 35 open positions right now. We're looking for more people, and every time we get a new hire, every Monday we bring everyone always in new hires on a Monday. And the first question I go in that room and ask them when they always buy us breakfast when they come in the first day. We pay for it, but we always say they bought it for us. So everyone comes in there, and the first question I ask them, are you ready to be the next millionaire? And I walk them through the path on how that happens and how they can do that. And I mean, just seeing in their faces, they're like, a millionaire, really? Can I really do that? And I walk them through it, and I said, and I usually will bring in one or two of them that have gone there, and I said, look, this guy's in the same position you are. You're just there in your first year. He's in his 25th year. So,
but it's that's the path that's being walked.
Yep.
You said 2.5% is what you have technically.
Correct.
As a CEO, you only have 2.5%. 97.5% is to everyone else.
Correct. And all shares are distributed. Now we just redistribute shares as everybody else leaves the company and retires. And we have a lot of retirements going on. We got a lot of 30, 40, 45-year employees here. And so everyone says, what are we going to do now? We're out of shares. And every year we rotate more shares than we did the year before, because we have people leaving the company. I got people that left last year. A guy at 54 years of age had plenty. He was more than a millionaire, and he was able to retire at 54 and enjoy his time and never have to work again.
Well, so I'd say mission accomplished with that.
Yep.
Well, that's I'm still getting wrapped around the M word here, Zach. There's a lot of those. What else? I mean, what else is on your mind? What else should people know? Shortest life, sports, Alliance material handling. What else should the people know? What did we miss on this little chat?
We are always looking for acquisitions. I would like to get that out there because we've made about 4 acquisitions over the last few years, and that's it's really a small part of our growth plan.
Yeah.
Most of it's been organic, but we're always looking for great people, always looking for great connections, always looking to ways that we can find better benefits for these employees. So that's what's going on around here. Other than that, me personally, I love hockey. I play hockey. On some adult leagues, and almost every family, well, actually, every family played hockey. My first daughter played field hockey, and all the rest have been ice hockey players. So having Allan May in here today was fantastic. Got to talk to him. My COO wound up being both of our kids were on the same team for a few years, and over years of a relationship. The right time hit, and now he's working for us. So that sports connection is something that we really love.
It really is. And so you still play hockey? Is that what you're saying?
I do.
Okay. So how do you – this is a sport that I know like you're probably a little bit more careful now than you would have been years ago, or are you just going balls to the wall and you're throwing up the hit still?
Well, it's a no-check league.
Okay. So, we're being a little bit more careful here.
But I've never played in a check league because I started hockey after my son started hockey, so I started playing at 46.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, I think the point even of this, how do people still play hockey, period? I feel like skating and then that's a workout in itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot, but I have family friends that say the same thing. And then I asked Allan, I'm like, dude, you play – he played years, and not just – he said he felt like he could have kept playing. Back then they said in the 30s they were trying to push him out a little bit. But like Ovechkin right now, Ovi's looking like 20 more years. Like I'm not going to hold it past him, but like it's not going to happen. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, you look like you could.
Yep.
But there's a lot of those guys in the NHL that are like that. So hockey is a sport for you. That's the one.
Hockey is a big, and I never even thought about that sport. I loved the Caps when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I never thought about ever getting on the ice and skating and figuring out how to use a stick and score some goals. But, what does it take? Well, when we started this with the beginner class, about 7 of us said, we're going to really be the worst players in the history of hockey unless we go to stick and pucks every morning. So we did it for about 3 straight years. Almost every morning, stick and puck. And next thing you know, we figured out how to jump over the boards and get on the ice, and then started scoring a few goals.
All right. So, Zach, we got to add this to the list of things that we need to try because I haven't played hockey. I played street hockey, but not ice hockey. So maybe that will be – Zach, do you ever play ice hockey? No?
Do you think
Maybe.
I can play ice hockey? No, I've never played ice hockey.
Okay, time out. Hey, don't
I
tell
can't
yourself you
skate.
can't. What did we learn from today? Okay? Did
what? Yeah,
Allan
true.
say he couldn't do it?
I
Positive.
can't skate yet. Can't skate yet.
Thank you.
There it
Allan
is.
said he never was negative. He's always positive. Always positive. Zach, that wasn't very positive of you.
I corrected myself. Can't skate yet.
Yeah, there you go.
We're working on that. I mean, we're still young pups in this. Zach's 25. I'm 32, but then former Ravens wide receiver Brandon Stokely caught the first touchdown in the Super Bowl. He came on and said I looked 52 because my receding hairline and my forehead was so damn big. And I said, damn, well, I'm going to put on this hat that I got sent me. I'm going to hide that a little bit. And it made Zach's year. But the thing is, Zach might have a worse hairline than me, and he's 25.
I wear the hat. That's why I wear the hat.
Gosh, there's a lot of good sports around here. I'm glad. Allan was amazing.
Great guy.
And the Caps are humming as well. I'm hoping they can have. Last year was a great year. Didn't end the way that they wanted to. There's a chance though. The Caps have a good year. Ravens, there's still time. Commanders looks like it's kind of on the downswing. And then the Orioles here. I'm hoping for a bounce back, Tom. We're heading down to the winter meetings.
We need a bounce back for the Orioles for sure.
Well, maybe we were talking earlier. Well, a lot of people, there was reports that Framber Valdez is the top pitcher available, that apparently the Orioles and Mets are interested. There's a chance one of these moves might happen. We're going to Orlando for the MLB winter meetings on Sunday. We're interviewing the new manager for the Orioles, Craig Albernaz, on Monday at 1 p.m. For everyone that's listening out there, 1 p.m. on Monday. Track my days. You want me to ask him any questions from you about anything with the team?
Ask him. Sure. Say what's the status on the pitching?
And what
Improvements are we making next year?
Who are we getting?
Right.
How are we going to be better? I'm really excited to talk to him. He's got a thick Boston accent. I don't know if you've been hearing it all. Like it's like the Gunna, Haba, So I might have to figure out some of those little isms for him. But hopefully I'll have an answer for you on that. Yeah. And for that, maybe something will happen. Zach doesn't like that I may or may not know something. So he's not happy that I haven't told him yet.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, hey, the Ravens, when we saw the Ravens at 1-5, all we kept saying here is a guy put up on there's a board over there, 11-6 division leaders. And so now they're at 6, so they got to win out. But we also said probably 9-8 might win that division.
It really might. They beat Pittsburgh this weekend. Really changes the dynamic of it. If Buffalo beats Cincy and the Ravens beat Pittsburgh, they're in a really good spot. If they don't, then sugar, it's going to be a really interesting Monday here.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's not 9-8, because if it's 9-8, there's a chance Cincinnati could do it. And Joe Burrow's back, so
gosh,
we need to make sure the Ravens beat them the next game.
And they got 7 losses, Zach, for the Bengals, or 8?
I believe they have 8.
They have 8. Can we check that? So we need that.
5 weeks left. They got to go 5-0.
They got to go 5-0. So Buffalo, we're rooting for Buffalo this weekend. Baltimore beats the Steelers. I'd like the Browns are still in it technically, but I'm not going to. That would be the shocker. Yeah. Was it 8?
Yeah, they're 4-8.
Okay. Let's go Buffalo. Here we go.
Yeah.
Let's go Buffalo. I don't want to keep you if you have anything to do. I'm hanging out. We're chilling. Yeah, I just talk. What'd you pull up there, Zach? I thought you had breaking news.
Wrong button. No, that was just simply hitting the wrong button. I had nothing.
I was hoping Irene would bother him today.
Why isn't he here today?
Yeah, why aren't? Yeah, Zach. Tom's wondering.
Prior commitments.
We would have. It is true. How long would it take for me to learn how to be taught to ride one of those forklifts?
Well, technically, you got to go through the whole training, which is about 4 hours that you come in here and you go through the whole process, and then you got to go out with a trainer.
Okay.
And figure out how to make sure you're doing it all the right ways before he'll hand you a license to let you.
So I could do that if I was here for 8 hours.
Yeah.
I could do it.
Oh yeah. You'd be a pro by 8 hours.
Oh, double the hours right there. Okay, so
you can say you're a professional baseball player and a professional forklift driver now.
Ooh.
Could I come out and do that?
Yes,
I can.
I'd love to do it.
Oh my goodness, Zach, do you want to come for actually? Now you want to come back?
Yeah, I will get forklift certified.
We might even set up a forklift rodeo for you guys.
What is a forklift rodeo, Tom?
So there are competitions out there. They're forklift rodeo competitions, and they take the best drivers from all the companies around here, and they put them on a path. They have to go, pick a pallet here, pick it here. You can't have any mishaps or accidents, and you got to put pallets to a certain spot, and then it's all timed, and whoever winds up doing the fastest and the safest wins.
Is that open to the public? If I don't compete, can I go to this?
Oh, you can go. Yeah, we've hosted it a few times for people and sponsored it, but yeah, that happens usually once or twice a year.
How have we not heard about this?
We need to.
Why would we hear about this? But why aren't we? Okay, so we're gonna get forklift certified, and I want to. If whether we're part of the would you put us through the rodeo, like the dummy school? No.
I don't know how that.
Don't shake your head at me, Irene.
No way.
No. Leave that to professionals.
Okay, so for insurance reasons, we will be careful. However, we would love to attend a forklift rodeo. That I would love to see.
All All right, we'll put it on the list.
Okay, deal. Anything else, Tom, that we can have for people before I let you enjoy the rest of your Friday?
No, but just if anybody out there, piques their interest to see what's like to be a millionaire, and you want a job here, look at our website, look at the job applications that we have out there, and we'd love to have you.
Oh, to Alliance Material Handling's the name. 35 open positions that you were looking for right now, and you're going to have 60 millionaires on path here going into next year, and just passed over 200 million.
Yep, looking for 250, 300 next year.
Yeah, I guess small goals, Zach. If you're into that type of thing. Well, Tom, I appreciate your time.
All right,
Thank you, man.
All right,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to lose Zach to Alliance, and I will be here for a forklift rodeo.
I'm down. That would be so much fun. I will watch the forklift rodeo. We should cover that.
I'm dead serious about that. Also, hey, it's unbelievable. Hey, Zach, come here. Oh,
good.
No.
Yeah, I'm glad that didn't work.
Hey, Zach, come here. No. Shoot. Zach, come here.
There we go.
Yeah. Do I look ridiculous?
Always.
I feel like I could be I could be in the 1920s and my name could be Tommy.
Yeah. I think that actually nails it pretty well.
Yeah, does that check out?
Checks out.
It checks out. Well, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We're usually live at 5, but we are live today at Alliance Material Handling, and I've just gotten absolutely blasted with confetti this entire time. And, I saw someone just said Nicolas Cage. I actually have gotten that, and then I've gone with, we're going to steal the Declaration of Independence,
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Zach, we're so what do you want to talk about then? We got a few things we still got to go into. Been a great show. We had Allan May, former NHL and Caps legend, also current broadcaster. Then just had Tom Alberto, CEO of Alliance Material Handling. If you missed that conversation, paraphrasing, if you work here, you're going to become a millionaire. That's essentially what we got from this conversation. They already have 30 and they expect to have 60 by the end of this year that are going to be millionaires within the company. And Zach, now come here. What do you want to talk about?
We want to talk Ranger Suarez.
Hey, yeah, but so what's my name though? My Rip or my Tommy right now?
You're Rip. The chat.
Tommy.
The chat is giving you way too much confidence with that hat.
Yeah, I look like I either am a part of one of those gangs in the 1920s that is a fake tough guy, or like I am gonna do the dirty work. You know what I mean? I'm one of the two. I know my role. Do I think I could be a lead? Absolutely.
That is the opposite. The fake tough guy or the guy that does the dirty work. Isn't that the opposite of each other?
I said it could go either way. Like I could see that.
It's me being like, oh,
I look like a supporting role right now. That's what I look like.
All right,
Take the hat off though. If I go backwards hat though, lead. I'm a lead. Just call me Leo.
You're a painter.
Yeah. We're keeping this hat forever. It's never going away.
I don't.
All right. Do you want to talk Ranger?
Yeah, let's talk Ranger Suarez.
You got where did that go, Zach? I thought we got rid of all these got rid of in the state of Maryland. Oh my goodness. Look at this thing. Hey Zach, hold on for a second. Hey Zach, come here. Why does his head actually looks proportional for this one? I don't know if you guys have seen the other one. And Zach, do you get it? It's Iron Man because Cal was the Iron Man of baseball. You get that?
Yeah.
Yeah, brutal. I don't know if you guys have seen the hell. That's where it was. The helmet doesn't match the head. You see that? He's got a way bigger head in person. Is this yours, by the way?
Yes.
It is. And sorry, your name?
Eddie.
Eddie?
Yep.
Eddie, it's nice to meet you. I hope you like it. I'm sorry. He
Big head.
it bobbles. They say we look alike. I have more hair than him, though, by the way. I want to clarify that. See, you're going to have more hair than me in a little bit. No?
It's going down. Going down. As the years go.
It goes downhill. I was going to say, are you a Ravens fan? But you got a Cowboys hat on. Great game last night.
Possibly. Not really.
I know that. I'm sorry. I was being mean right there. Have you seen the Ravens this year? It hasn't been as great either. But Brandon Stokely caught the first touchdown for the Ravens in Super Bowl 34. So it's they're celebrating 25 years since the Ravens won their first Super Bowl this Sunday. So Zach knows this on air with me, and he's hearing this. So Brandon Stokely, we had him on the show a couple days ago, and I said 32 is not a old age. You know, I said, now that I'm 32, I said, I feel I'm still young. And he goes, you're 32. And I said, well, what made you think I was older? Was it the beard? And he goes, no, it's the receding hairline that you have and that your forehead takes up half the screen. That hurts, you know? See, that looks good. You look good.
That's 53 though.
See, if I have that look in 21 years, I will take that. Have you seen my family genetics? Have you seen these genetics?
I've seen it.
Okay. Well, it's tough. Well, I'll give this back to you. But I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything.
My wife's
Appreciate
from
you.
Aberdeen, so.
Your wife's from Aberdeen?
Yep.
Why don't you say that?
She's got the one that's still in the box.
You still got the one in the box?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I want to talk to Irene about something. Maybe. Yeah, I got an idea. Really nice to meet you.
See you.
Good kids. Good kids. Sorry, we went on a little side quest. Tommy went on a side quest. Did you like that convo?
Yeah, that's something. That was good. That was good.
Yeah. Well, what did you want to talk about? The Orioles made a move? Are they going to make a move?
I was gonna say, I was like, did they make a move? Yeah. So we talked about Framber Valdez. Looks like the two favorites are the Mets and the Orioles. Now Rangers, Suarez. It looks like at least the three teams that are mentioned at the moment are the Orioles, the Cubs, and the Astros. We've talked about Rangers Suarez a few times on this show. Guy consistency, a very, very, very talented playoff performer as well. What are your thoughts on Rangers Suarez potentially coming to Baltimore?
Is this Rip's thoughts or Tommy's thoughts?
Rip's thoughts. We're sticking with Rip for the baseball conversation.
Okay, well, hats off then. So if I got to be Rip, can't be Tommy. I still am very bullish on Ranger Suarez. I still am more bullish on him to an extent than Framber Valdez. Now, would I take either pitcher? Absolutely. I still think of all the options. Do I think that the Orioles still could be in on another pitcher? Of course. But the reason why I like Rangers so much is just the dependability. And I know people want that big splash, the big name, but we're finding out getting the biggest name pitcher or the highest price pitcher does not correlate that you're going to have the success. It very well could. I want to emphasize that. It very well could happen and say, yeah, Framber is the best pitcher in the free agent class. But we've also seen where you sign a deal and it doesn't live up to that hype of the deal. And of this pitching class, Zach, it's the same thing with the closer situation. So many options. Devin Williams, Ryan Helsley, Fairbanks, Diaz, etc. And I said earlier that any of those guys could be the best of the group. I feel the same way or similar to starting pitching. I would give the advantage to Framber because of his track record.
Yeah.
But if you said Ranger Suarez would be the best one, I think he very well could be in 2026.
Yeah,
Um,
and obviously you then have to look at the age, 2 years younger, so maybe that comes into play. But yeah, I mean, Ranger Suarez coming off in 2024 had a 3.46 ERA. 2025, he had a 3.20 ERA, pitching 150 and 2/3 and 157 and a third. He's another guy that's going to go out there and give you a lot of innings. Yeah, I mean, if you look at his playoff success, let me see. He has pitched in 29, or he's pitched in 39 playoff games. He has started 29, totaling 151 playoff innings for Ranger Suarez, and he has a playoff ERA of 1.48. So we talk about guys who step up in the moment when the lights are the brightest. Ranger Suarez is one of those guys. So if you go into a playoff series, and I'll say this: the Orioles go into a playoff series, and you have Ranger Suarez, Kyle Bradish, and Trevor Rogers as your 1 through 3. You feel pretty confident going up against anybody else's 1 through 3. And I'm not saying it's the best 1 through 3 in baseball, but that's a 1 through 3 that can compete with any other team in Major League Baseball. And yeah, Ranger's a guy who he's proven it. When the lights are the brightest, he pitches well. So I would be happy with either Suarez or Framber, obviously. Very intrigued how the deals are going to look. I think Framber honestly might be a higher AAV and a lower years, maybe Rangers more years. That evens it out. So very intrigued by that. But yeah, these guys for me are a coin flip. I'm not going to sit there and say one is way better than the other because, like you said, I think this is a free agency class where really any of the top guys could take over and end up looking back in 3-4 years and you say that was the guy who everyone needed to get.
I mean, I think that's a good analysis, Zach, and you're a good kid with that. It's the wild cards here, and if you're feeling frisky, the wild cards were Dylan Cease, who's already gone, which stuff, if you're talking about stuff, I'd say Dylan Cease, Zach Gallen are the two that you're sitting there going, stuff, nasty. Like, when they're on, really damn good. If you're going to talk about best overall, Framber. If you're going to talk about being at the tier maybe below as far as all around or best stuff, then it's Ranger. But what Ranger has as a advantage is that he's consistent. Like you know what you get. And I know that you can look and say, well, Ryan, he's only been a couple years. Go back and look at the last 5 years. He's had 1 year where it was and that was back in his worst year over the last 5 years was a 4.18, Zach. And if you want to take out COVID here, and go back to 2019, which we had 37 games played and he had 0 start coming out of the pen. He had a 3.14 ERA there. His career ERA is 3.38. So like the point what I'm talking about with Ranger is the floor, the dependability, the consistency. And I think that is what's important, at least in the Orioles' minds. Or if it's not, that's what's important in my mind. I want to know who I can rely on. Now, if you go and get a guy like Gallen or somebody else, then getting another pitcher that either is a little bit cheaper and maybe is more dependable but less consistent, like as far as the success, like Zach Eflin to me. Eflin would fit that portfolio of I buy that he would bounce back if healthy. It's the biggest thing. He's got to be healthy. But Eflin would be in that lower level where probably if you say he pitches around a 4 ERA, but going to be consistent, and I don't want people to look at what happened to him last year because the injuries for him were derailed. He was lights out to start, and it was, for me, an asterisk how it went the rest of the year because he pitched unhealthy the rest of the way. He just did. He came back. He tried to battle as much as he could. No one's going to make an excuse, but that's the reality of what happened with Zach Eflin. But when you're looking at him and Suarez is a better consistent pitcher than Eflin, but same category, if that makes sense. Like, they're not going to wow you, but you know what you get with them. Suarez is just higher. So that will be interesting to see. Usually coming on Sunday night for the winter meetings, nothing will happen there. But Monday and Tuesday, Zach, I think it's going to get pretty spicy. I wouldn't be even surprised if on Sunday night something gets spicy. Maybe I know that no one wants to get their hopes up. I will be shocked if the Baltimore Orioles do not sign make a big splash here over the next week.
Yeah.
I really do. I really do. I know we're going to look at last year, but I do believe the Orioles will make a sizable move. That's my opinion.
And there it is. Orioles claim catcher Drew Romo from the on waivers from Rockies. There it is, right there.
There it
Boom,
is.
right on cue. Boom,
Breaking
perfect.
news.
But I do. I agree. I've said this all off season. People can ask and say, "Hey, you know, why do we think that this offseason of any offseason?" Because, yeah, it feels like going into the recent offseasons, it's like, hey, Orioles could make a big splash. And to give them credit, 2 offseason goes, they did. They got Corbin Burns. They made the big trade for an ace. I just think there's more pressure on the Orioles this year. You see what the Blue Jays did. They got the blueprint. You can go first or worst to first in the AL East and then ride that into the World Series. Take it to Game 7 against the quote-unquote juggernaut Dodgers. But the biggest thing, I just think there's pressure on the Orioles to go make that move. So that's why I'm all in on I agree with you. I think they make a big splash. I think it's a move that realistically, I think it's obviously a frontline pitcher. But I wouldn't be surprised if it happens sooner rather than later because Mike Elias, unlike other years, we said he was talking differently at the GM meeting. He has never given a checklist before. So they have a clear checklist. And so far they've checked off 2 of the 3, the last check being that frontline starter. So, if you follow that, it does seem like they are all in on getting a pitcher of this caliber. And I wouldn't blame them.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't either at all. You know what I also wouldn't, or what I should expect, Zach?
What's that?
I should expect if you're all tuning in that you hit that like and subscribe button to the Ryan Ripken Show. We're live Monday through Friday right here on YouTube, X, and Facebook. We're live at Alliance Material, where I am currently, because it is a little frigid out in the forklift and in the warehouse region, I'm hanging with the clocks, Zach. I'm one with the clocks. Some would say I'm like an elf on a shelf with the clocks.
I was going to say, you are missing every button there.
I like this. I wonder if anyone's going to say anything about my hat.
I just like how the confetti has slowly gotten more and more as the show's gone on.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? There's a few things we need to talk about. Joe did mention he wanted to talk about coffee. I asked people what they wanted to talk about. One guy said they want to talk about my fun to go to Turkey to get hair plants or hair transplants. Also, dude, so Brad Jackson, who was all part of the Super Bowl 35 team, he just texted me. So Brad Jackson is the man. And so I'm going to share the photo. He goes, yo, with Stokely right now for the 25th anniversary, he said, what's up? You did an interview. He said, Stoke said he was absolutely going in on you, going bald. How did you have Stokely on before your boy B-Jack? And so I don't know if you guys can see that, but there they are.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, well, they're smoking a stogie. I'm like, dude, I said, tell Stoke, why was he smoking a stogie on with us? That would have been great. He chugged a beer off the air. Like, what are we waiting for?
Yeah, that's the behind the scenes stuff people didn't see as we saw him join. It was from the jump. It was quite an interview.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Quite an interview indeed. We're going to have a lot of baseball news, Zach, moving forward, maybe to close out the show, besides that, what Joe was talking about with coffee, which I think is vital for people to understand, that I forgot that I put that out on Twitter. Hopefully the Orioles sign Ranger Suarez, how Orioles need to get more pitching this offseason. We definitely talked about, baseball. But Joe said the differences between espresso and coffee and how many shots of espresso go in one cup to be perfect. Ooh, that is interesting. I typically like 3 espresso shots. If I was having like an iced Americano, I want 3.
How much caffeine is in a single espresso shot?
It's probably by the proportion of the, of it. How strong is the coffee? I would like to know what my caffeine intake is because it has to be alarmingly high.
Yeah, it's 64 milligrams per 1 fluid ounce of espresso shot.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as I thought.
And we know Ryan Hensley, though. Ryan Hensley likes to have a little bit of whole milk with his first coffee, and then he's guaranteed to have a second. Then he'll go a little Americano action. So I'll ask him next time. But I think 2 is probably the correct answer for people. But if you're asking me, it's 3. And if you're asking Dan Campbell, it's like 7. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Like, his blood is just caffeine, I think.
Yes. Does this look? Do I look more? Oh,
Don't. We gotta get the hats out of here.
It's almost like now you're looking down the corner, like you're yelling to that guy in the corner in the alley, and it's like, hey buddy, and he's got his hat down like this, like, hey buddy, like, scram, and you're sitting there down like this. You know what I mean?
That's the worst thing to happen to this show in a long time.
Oh gosh. Why don't we a couple things and notes then on the what do we want to add up to the list here? Do we want to talk about Billick saying about the team had a chance, or do we want to talk about Stokely just ripping my hairline to shreds?
Do you have that video cut up?
Oh, I do. I put out our best highlight one. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. That was fun.
I put out some. You know what? I'll play that right now because
play the highlights. Play the highlights.
Play the highlights of this week. And there's more highlights. It just was, we're trying to fit so many in. It's hard. It's hard when you're having so much fun. Here you go, Zach. Here's some highlights that can get us ready to end this week. If I can figure it out. Is it the beard? The beard
No, it's a damn receding. It's a receding hairline. I thought you're like 49.
Damn, Brandon. I thought we were having a good moment here.
Peaky Blinders.
One of my buddies was trying to do a Spanish accent.
I couldn't do a Spanish accent.
But so it came out like this. What do you think you're doing? It came out like that.
Like you're Irish?
Yeah, exactly.
Donkey.
It takes up half the screen.
Ollie, get me a hat. Bring it on over.
Yes.
Damn.
I tried to talk them into making that a dual-purpose place at the facility and building a little short par 3 course. I actually designed it one time. This first hole's 52 yards, representing Ray. You could have, there were all kinds of numbers you could play with, and it would route it around a little bit on the perimeter into the interior and coming right back. I mean, it looks like a clubhouse anyway. The place is gorgeous. Yeah. First golf course design, and didn't get off the ground.
Coached my then 10-year-old grandson's defense. I said, I know a little bit about defense. I can do that. So I'm coaching these 10 years old, and it's fabulous, man. They're great, and it's a little bit different coaching because it's like, okay, where's your helmet? Have you got to ride home? Okay, but this one young kid, he comes up and goes, it really put me in perspective for me. He goes, you used to coach the Baltimore Ravens. I go, yes, I did. Very good. And he goes, and you won a Super Bowl. I said, yes, I did. That's good of you to remember. He goes, that's really cool because most of those guys are dead.
That one still gets me.
Yeah, the Brian Billick Super Bowl winning coach. He's coaching 10-year-olds, and they're like, "Oh, that's cool, you won." But like, all of those guys died.
How long ago do they
Oh
think
man,
that was?
what?
I wonder how long ago that happened.
I know. Hey Zach, come here for a second. Come here. We've had a great list of guests, and that was not including Ryan Helsley because that was just from the live component. It's been, and then add in now Allan May and Tom Albero here at Alliance Material Handling. It's been an unbelievable week, and I think I'd love to hear from our viewers what guests we really should try to focus on moving forward. Like our goal here on the Ryan Ripken Show is we continue to ascend here. Ascend. Tommy and the boys are ascending. And what we want to do is we think having the guests on is a lot of fun. And we're going to give you the insight, but the part of us going 5 days a week is one, give you guys content that you want, talk about the game. Of course we are, but we're going to give you stories. The stories and the interactions are so damn fun. And we want to continue to enhance your experience, right? So let us know. But we've had some great guests, Zach. It's been unbelievable. And Tommy has been created. You know, I like this. All I need. The kids call me T. You know, the hat does look, you know what? I honestly I feel like I could be an artiste, Zach.
If you backwards, it's 1000% artist.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, Zach, I was just talking to Irene for a second. Oh, you're back. Nope, there you're not. Nope, you're back. I was just talking to Irene. I'm debating for our channel members right now, that because we've gotten to this point and no one's made a reference to what's different in this room.
I mean, it's not like different in like just more like, has someone seen the obvious?
Yes. And I think what I'm going to do here, and that will end the show, is if one of our channel members, so if you're a Rips good kid or better kid, and if you want to be a channel member, click join for the opportunity. I will Venmo you $20 right now.
How do I get in on this?
You don't get to.
Are we counting Brooks? Brooks is saying that he has, which I mean,
but what has he seen? Also,
yeah,
you know, I just saw Brooks complaining earlier, saying that, you know, nope. Oh, that's amazing. Amazing. You know what? Should I give credit to Brooks as well? Should I give it to both of them?
I think you might have to. Actually, no. Brooks went to Calvert Hall now.
Okay, yeah. No, you know, that's a great point.
That was
a great point.
I felt bad. I was going to say, wow, Brooks absolutely screwed out of that. But then I remembered the turkey ball, and I was like, yeah, I don't care, actually.
Yeah, but you know who would be oblivious? Rocco.
Yeah, Rocco would be like, what elf?
Why am I? Oh, there. Oh.
And actually, fun fact, that's actually Rocco sitting there.
That was one of your best ones right there. but that's too big. That's too big. Rocco's a lot tinier. Man, goodness. Well, I'm sorry I lost a viewer with all the inside stuff. All the inside stuff was we have a great community and channel members. And we appreciate the loyalty with all of them. And all it was is that the inside, if it's inside jokes or stuff, we're just talking about that no one mentioned that there's this thing just sitting right here. The entire show, you know? But it's been great. I appreciate the all of our community and friends. And Joe, I just talked about coffee and espresso. I just did it. And on Twitter and X, by the way, on all the socials, I did look at what we wanted to talk about. And a lot of the topics were baseball, turkey for a hair transplant, and Ranger Suarez. And then I think we covered all of that. And typically on a normal show, for anyone that's new, we will talk more on an extensive list. Like I'll tell you on Monday, guess what? At 1 p.m., we're going to be talking to Craig Albernaz, manager of the Baltimore Orioles. So that's going to be a fun time. We will be down at the winter meetings. We will be giving you some behind the scenes. And for our channel members, those behind the scenes moments, talking about Bali, boots on the ground, that's going to be a great example there. One of Zach's really his goal there is to continue to bring insights into what that all is going to look like down there in Orlando. So we're excited about that. And we appreciate our channel members here. And if you want to become a channel member, click that join button. And really, it helps us to try to do this more and more. It might be. I can't believe I almost gave the CEO hand sanitizer for the day.
You would have had
You know what?
that them showing in the courtroom, you just blatantly handing him the sanitizer would have done nothing. That would have been a tough one.
Oh gosh. Well, Zach, maybe we'll be going live later when the Orioles, if or not, they break news.
I'm not gonna lie. I texted Kevin earlier, just letting him know to clear his schedule tonight, because we always joke the Orioles only make moves around midnight on Fridays, because Kevin and I went live 4 straight Friday nights at midnight last year about Orioles moves. And then after thought we were in the clear, Corbin Burns signs with Arizona at 2:30 in the morning.
Well, that's Kevin. Kevin hasn't even had dinner yet at that point.
I know. So I'm sitting there. I will never forget that. I see Kevin send in the group chat. I'm literally half asleep. I'm in bed, half asleep. And I was like, oh, Corbin Burns signed with Arizona. Nice. Corbin Burns signed with Arizona. And Kevin's like, I texted Kevin Streb. I was like, I don't think we're doing this. I was like, this ain't happening. I was like, it's 2:30. It's 3 a.m. I was like, not happening. And he hits me with oh, okay, I'll just do it on my own. And I had that thing where I turned over to go back to sleep, but I knew damn well I had to get up and get it. And it was like that 30 seconds laying in bed where you have to get up to do it. And I was like, text him, I was like, I'll make the thumbnail and be on in 10. And then we went for like an hour until 4 a.m. It was.
Oh gosh. Well, you're gonna have a lot of that action. Kevin and Zach React, obviously, a lot. That'll be booming during baseball season. We're gonna have a lot of things booming during baseball season. So I'm really excited about where things are going. It's gonna be a fun 2026. Of all the things that are happening here at Alliance, and we're talking about how they made their rise here. And for people, by the way, and I know a lot of people are frustrated and life can be tough and the opportunities. The reason why also it's great to come out here with Alliance, giving people chances to have more success, and they're looking to help enhance your experience and especially in your life. And 30 to now 60 millionaires they're expecting within the company, and it truly is going back to the employee. That's amazing. And for me, it's motivating as hell, because I want us to continue to enhance and to grow and to give you guys more and more. Right now, we're still in the bootlegging stage of continuing to grow the product. But we're really excited where 2026 is going to take us. And we're really excited to see where the next moves are going to take us for winter meeting. So, Zach, I think that's it. I think that's all I got. Any other final words here before we close out this Friday show?
No, but maybe we'll see you later tonight or tomorrow or in the morning. Who knows? Mike Elias can never make a move when we are just having a normal day.
Yeah. Name's Tommy. I got to work on my accent.
I wish I had the music. I would just hit it.
I got told that the hat blends in with the hair. Oh my goodness. I don't know about that. All right. They call me Tommy. Let's get on out of here. Is it playing? As always here on the Ryan Ripken Show, we appreciate each and every every one of you. Get your paper here. Get your paper. Have a day. Have a night. Have a great stinking weekend. And guess what? Stop traffic. We'll be back next week, and we'll be live down in Orlando for the winter meetings. We'll see you then. Be good. Be safe. Talk to you soon.